You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Baltimore Falls monthly regular meeting of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees. Today's Wednesday, June 12th. Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, Board of Trustees, we are in receipt of a letter from Mental Health America of Dutchess County addressed to Justice Raymond C. Chase, dated 6 June 2024. Today I accompanied a client to an appearance before you as a result of a cell phone infraction she received in the town of Wappingers earlier this year. I was coming along to offer mental and emotional support to the client as she experiences a profound amount of anxiety in the face of the unknown, and especially in a situation that have the potential to adversely affect her future. What I witnessed today was an act of human compassion on your part that had an impact on the client more than you can even understand. She is a kind, conscientious individual who woke up this morning dreading the potential impact this day could have on her financially for the foreseeable future, especially on a fixed income of disability and help and assistance. As you know, something of this nature can become an incredible burden to someone in this position, and your recognition of this and willingness to adapt as a tremendous form of humanity, acknowledging humanity, was a powerful moment and a testament to you as a judge and mostly as a human seeking to lighten the load for another. I held back tears as I witnessed this today, and I knew the impact it had on my client, and I felt driven to let you know. All too often we hear negative feedback, but today I hope this tidbit offers an opportunity to smile, knowing that you made a difference in my client's life and mine. Sincerely, Ms. Thompson, Core Peer Specialist. I thought that was really very nice.
Very nice.
Okay, roll call. Mayor Huber.
Present.
Trustee Nicholas.
Here.
Trustee Tilisak.
Here.
Trustee Mash.
Here.
Trustee Marshall. Absent. Trustee Ruffin.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Attorney Lindars.
Here.
Action on minutes, regular village board meeting minutes, 5/8/24.
You get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Second monthly village board meeting minutes, May 29th.
You get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Authorization to pay bills as per approved warrants.
You get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Regular session. If you turn to your handout I gave you, there's an MOA in there that I received from Tom Morris, who's working on that project for Hudson Valley Regional Council. And this is a preliminary MOA, Tom tells me, which shows how much money each of the municipalities that signed up could be receiving. The village's share could be over $106,000. If we get granted these monies, these different communities, then you'll get the formal MOA, and that you can vote on. This is for the board to look at and the village attorney. There's no action required tonight on that. Parks Commissioner Charles Ferry would like to address the board.
The only thing I want to address, should I bring that up, Kevin, about the benches or something?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
We were asking money to be taken from the recreation restricted fund account to get some benches in the parks. Residents have been requested them, and the Parks Commission has also asked over time. So we're asking for
8,700.
8,700, and that's for 10 benches. 4 would go at Darrigan Park, 3 at Vets, 1 at Temple, 1 at Canali, and 1 in Messere. And that's it. Just want to ask for that.
We also talked about last night, where if somebody wanted to, I don't necessarily want to say purchase the bench, because the village already purchased the bench, but basically, you can, like, put some money towards the bench and get your name on it, so.
So the way that could work, the way they do it in some other municipalities is we pre-purchase the benches and we would come up with the benches are roughly $8,000 to $1,000 a piece. So we would come up with a price for an existing bench for a donation or a new bench for a donation. So if somebody wants to see one of those benches that down by the lakefront or something, they want to donate that in memory of a family member, they would pay whatever amount we come up with. I know in Peekskill it's $500 for an existing bench and $1,000 to buy a new bench. We would, no, they're $2,000 for a new bench, so we would obviously adjust ours down from there. But, so they would be able to still donate these benches and we could get the money back and they would have a room.
Yeah.
I've had several calls about a flagpole not being erected down at Darrigan Park.
Yeah, that's something that the board has approved. I haven't gotten a price for it because we were looking to get some used ones, and that, as of yet, hasn't gone through. The one we had wasn't going to work there. So if you wanted to put extra money coming out of the fund for that, because it should be down there, or you can wait. I'll do a report next month and try and find out how much it would cost to just get a new one put in. And,
Yeah, let's wait till next month.
okay, so I'll do that. I'll find out by next month. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Mayor, I would just also caution,
700?
Yeah, we'll do that when we do this.
Okay. All right. Accept
excuse
the
me,
resignation.
I would caution that any sort of solicitation for a donation that we, before that goes out, I would like to check into that, because there's strict rules about municipalities and soliciting for donations. So before that goes out, if we could talk, that'd be great.
Okay, accept the resignation of police officer constable Camera, effective June 1st.
Get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Approval to hire Keith Gannon as part-time police dispatcher and Christopher Giada as part-time seasonal police dispatcher.
You get a motion?
I'll make that motion. We could use some police dispatchers.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Authorize a stipend of $100 each for 2 recreation co-chairs, May through December. Trustee Telizak.
You want to talk about this, John, or?
Sure. We have a recreation department. They're going through a lot. We're trying to do a lot of stuff. They're going to be at all the concerts. They're the people who put together our Christmas, our Easter eggs, our Halloween. We're looking at doing a chalk art contest. We're trying to get all this stuff going on. We don't have a paid recreation department, but these folks work really hard and they spend a lot of time. So we'd like to show them a little bit of our thanks. It's not a lot of money. It's $100 for 6 months of the year to each of them. That is already budgeted in the recreation budget.
And we did the same thing last year, as I was informed by the treasurer, yes?
We had it set aside, but we did not have a chair at that time.
Okay. Thank you, John.
All right.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Mayor, do you want to do this one?
Sure. So, I'd like to authorize the expenditure of up to $2,500 from Recreation Fund, purchase equipment for 3 child-sized buildings to use during recreation events. Sure. So we would like to authorize the expenditure up to $2,500 from the Recreation Fund for the purchase of equipment in the form of 3 child-sized buildings used during the recreation events. In the events that we've had in the Mizzier Park for Halloween and Easter, there was these little houses that a resident has built, and the kids like them. So Trustee Tilichek, myself, we talked to him, and he's willing to build them for us, and we would keep them down in the highway department, down in the boathouse or in the garage down there. And we would bring them up for the Halloween and the Easter events. And this way we don't have to worry about ruining somebody else's stuff. And also, I would like to add another $8,700 for park benches for the parks. So that total will be $11,200. Anybody else got a comment on anything?
The money's already there in the recreation department.
Yeah, it's the restricted fund.
Restricted, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the money's already existing, so nothing has to be added to it.
No.
Okay.
Bids,
What's that?
get bids for this stuff, make the plastic procurement.
This is, yeah, if you lump it together,
Put the loans together.
it requires, yeah.
So we're gonna get, so we'll just split it in half.
But, can't
It
tell you that.
doesn't work that way
No,
anymore.
yeah, you would have to get some bids for whatever the items are that you're buying, the benches, whatever it is, it's quotes. What's the purchase?
The buildings are custom made, so there are no.
Yeah. And it would be a little more expensive. Get them started. Keep going for cost.
We need 3 vendors minimum, depending on cost, written quote, or fax.
Can you speak up a little? I couldn't hear you.
You'll need
Under your procurement,
3 quotes.
depending on what values, what's our number here? You're gonna need 3 written or fax quotes. So,
Can we suspend at our vote the procurement for this?
no.
So you want to table it until next month?
Table it till next month. We'll get, for custom-built items, we'll get the nearest quotes we can. And we'll have to get something for the benches.
Could that be worded that maximum amount to be spent is that, and so there was, you're approving the maximum, we have no bids yet, but the maximum of a bid would be that, we get 3 bids, whichever one is the lowest, closest to that number, would be the one to get it.
Yeah, then just
Yeah.
submit me the bids, and then we'll do a resolution.
Of the
laying it all
8,700.
out.
But that could go tonight if you did that, or not? If you made a resolution that you're gonna use no more than $8,700 of the funds based on, the maximum amount you'll spend is $8,700 based on the procurement policy and getting 3 bids on each.
Based on procurement, you just need to obtain the written quotes, so.
But before you spend the money.
Can we authorize, as long as we follow the procurement policy, the expenditure of up to $8,700 for benches pursuant to getting 3 estimates? Same thing for the little houses pursuant to getting 3 estimates. As long as we don't exceed those numbers, can we vote on that today?
No, you're putting the cart before the horse. You're trying to, you have to get the quotes first,
Okay.
so,
So we'll table this until.
because the quotes could exceed the cost, and then.
Then we
what do
wouldn't
you
do it.
So,
If
Can you get the
if we
3
say it's
houses
not going to exceed it, then we wouldn't purchase
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna, well.
Can you break that out? Can we break out the 3 houses?
Yes.
Can we vote on the 3 houses for 2,500?
no, you're trying to circumvent your own procurement policy. No, You can't do that.
You can, that seems weird. You can allocate based on bids, right? But
No, the procurement policy requires, depending on how, the dollar amount, you're either gonna get 3 vendors, telephone quotes, or you're gonna get a written or a fax quote. This is your procurement policy. This is your law. This is how you,
Here to protect.
you buy stuff. So, if you obtain the quotes, then we can do the resolution. We can lay out what the quotes were, so the public sees, what the lowest bid is, and then we award the contract. And then you get whatever it is you're looking to buy.
So what do? You add the 8,700 with the 2,500? Is that your limit?
He's saying the 2,500 need a bid and the 8,700. If we break it away,
Oh.
we gotta do it all together.
I see.
You gotta, either way,
Okay,
Either way, you gotta get quotes. So you either gotta get them on verbal or you gotta get them written. So
All right.
if you get written quotes for the entire event, then it's one shot and done, one and done.
so we'll table that to July.
10th meeting.
Received correspondence from William T. Garner at our regular company meeting, their regular meeting held on Monday, June 3rd. Firefighter Christopher Viscousas was elected first lieutenant, and firefighter Brandon Hall was elected second lieutenant. And I have a motion to accept the correspondence.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion to accept the correspondence.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
As you all know, Bain Park has a new playground. If you haven't seen it, it's really something to see. It's state-of-the-art, really nice. And we're going to propose a public dedication ribbon cutting. It says July 6th, but that's the 4th of July week. I think you might want to reconsider that to the following Saturday.
That was just something up for discussion, but yeah, absolutely.
I believe that's the 13th.
Yep, 13th.
Okay. So a ribbon cutting July 13th, which I'll do the publication for it. What time?
Say 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. I'll notify the local papers. Maybe they can be there, and we'll put it on no, we don't do Facebook. We'll put it on the website.
Instagram, yep.
quick question. Did you invite his granddaughter? She thinks she still lives in the village?
Well, we
Jim's
will.
daughter,
We absolutely should.
right? I mean, as far as I know, she's Jim's calling.
All right,
Well, obviously.
All right.
But his daughter lives, I think, on this road.
all right.
Nice if you invited her.
You're on that committee. You're on that committee.
If I
Track
could
her
walk-
down.
Okay, if I could walk that far down, you got it.
Thank you.
Okay, I will take care of that.
I'll ask her down if you want.
Trustee Smith would like to talk about local law 1 of 2021.
Just waiting for the attorney's answer into looking into it, if it's a legal law or not.
I would like to move that discussion item into an executive session item.
I have a motion to put that item in executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Is that 120, John?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Local law 120?
Local law 1 of 2021.
What is it?
It's a local law amending chapter 148, water. Okay, that concludes the printed portion of tonight's agenda. Mayor?
Yep. So, I got monthly updates, well, committee updates. I wanted to change around a little bit. So I want to move to the police committee. Well, Trustee Mosh. Finances, Trustee Nichols. Highway is Trustee Ruffin. Fire is Ruffin. Lake is Trustee Tilichek. Safety still the clerk. Recreation is Trustee Tilichek. Water is myself. Personnel is trustee Tilichek. Tri-Munis is at the clerk cards.
Okay. Did you want to open it up to,
Yeah, we could. Does anybody from the board have anything?
Do you want to do reports?
What's that?
Couple of reports.
You got reports? Sure, we can do that.
Should I just jump in?
Yeah, sure.
All right, a couple of things. I'm going to start. People may have noticed we have started treating the lake for the lake weeds. As near as I can tell, the lake weeds are somewhat going away. There will be more treatments. Keep your fingers crossed we don't get too much rain. The goal is that we keep this going and we actually get a lake instead of a green swamp. Forgive me, but yes. So that's on the lake. Recreation, it is coming to be season for the concerts. The concerts are up, the signs are up. Hope to see you all there. We've got lots of good music coming. I think we have 9 concerts at this point, maybe 10, I don't remember off the top of my head. We have a lot of concerts coming up. So we look forward to seeing you all there. My last time at Highway, I've got the highway report, so I'm going to review that really quickly. If you're in the 3rd Ward, you may have noticed sidewalk curbing marks on Mizzier and Remsen, Academy. Those are all areas that do not have proper ADA accessible ramps for wheelchairs with the little tactile thing in there. Highway is going to be working on those through the coming season. They're still working on sewer openings. There's going to be sidewalk reconstruction on Creekview Court, South Mizzier. Thank you. The guys have done a whole bunch of training. Congratulations to highway laborer Zachary Jones. He passed the New York State CDLB. There was a water supply leak at 10 Market, which has been dealt with. And I do want to mention something because this has come up a number of times. Sorry. Where Central Hudson is doing the work on the streets. They dig a trench, they put rocks in it, it stays there for 10 days, they cover the trench, they come back, and we dig up little sections of the trench to connect things. And people say that's the village and it's foolish. It's not the village. That is Central Hudson's contractor. The law gives a certain amount of time you can have that trench open before you got to cover it. If they don't get it done, they got to cover it and dig it up again. And that, it does look silly, but the fact of the matter is you don't want to be driving across those things. You're getting people getting flat tires, you're throwing out the gravel, it's making a mess. So it does look kind of crazy, but there is some semblance of order to it. And hopefully they'll get this all done in a timely fashion. The guys at Highway have also been doing a lot of mowing and cleaning up in general. And they've been working on their own vehicles. And our highway guys did work with the town of Poughkeepsie highway guys to put up the veterans banners this year. We want to give them all our thanks. That's it for highway.
Great. Anybody else?
all right, Treasurer Java asked me to hand out 2 documents. One is the expense report for May. It's all broken down by week. The other is the budget for 24-25. That's it.
Anybody else? Anybody from the public? Mr. Cardini.
My favorite topic, the unwritten law. I was here 2.5 months ago, roughly. We talked about it, and you guys outvoted your attorney, unless you changed your mind afterwards, and things were supposed to progress.
Legislation.
Can you tell us, because if I talk about it, we're going, what was supposed to happen and what happened?
So I am in the process of drafting that right now and anticipate that we will have a local law to introduce at the next board meeting.
Which will be,
Well, we're not doing, yeah, July 10th now, yeah.
Do you want to give him the spoiler alert
No,
on it? Not yet, okay.
no, I want to draft it and then submit it to the board for review.
Okay.
now, I would have thought somebody would be looking or going back, or maybe Trustee Ruffin has been looking at it. There's a whole list of things that the plaza did not do, and yet was granted, whatever you guys want to call it, certificate of occupancy or the equivalent for it. One of it is the full stop at the exit. You don't think that cars pull out of there onto a street, somebody is in for a screwed away. That's a sign that was knocked down and never replaced. There were a whole bunch of other things, which included the curbs, so that trucks could only go one way. You might have known, the mayor, when you were at a discussion when the lady that runs, she represents the owner of the plaza, it was suggested by you and I guess trustee Marshall that they widen that lane. They were there, they dug out the old stuff, they hauled it away, they were in there yesterday, day before, it's all blacktopped all the way to the fence.
Good.
Okay, so they're doing that. I didn't notice any curb put in, and they don't seem to know anything about it, but that's, I know that you asked me when we first started this, and they actually gave me the paperwork from 2015, 2016 of open issues. And the woman has been very helpful. She also asked me, because supposedly she's forwarded I want to make sure I don't misspeak for her, but she forwarded basically her understanding of what you need for the signs, but she needs your approval of the signs before she goes and pays and has them done. And I will put it in a polite form, but she basically said she's done it once before and it was wrong. So she's very hesitant in just making the signs again without your approval. Do you have any idea, of be another one of my takeaways, that I can tell her when she will have her signs either marked up and approved or approved so she can get them? And then I'll explain why.
Feel that one?
I don't know anything about the
That's
signs.
more of a planning board attorney, that's a Lisa Cobb question.
Well,
so-
there's,
Signs have to be a certain
There are-
size, certain color, certain distance up, just like the
Correct.
handicap sign.
correct, there are a number of regulations that
Right.
dictate what your signs have to look like. You
And
are
she
correct.
is, I think, submitted based on what you want her to do, which are the one-way do not enter, but before she goes out and spends for the second time and buys another set of signs, only to be told by the police department that they're unenforceable because they don't fit, form, color, whatever, she's presented them to you and she's asked. Now, you have to agree, she responds very quickly. You ask for something, 2 days you got the letter. 2.5, 3 months later, we still haven't been able to draft the law.
That's a good question.
Where were they submitted to?
Planning board
Planning board or this?
This board, because this, just,
Someone told,
that should go
I'll
to
find
the,
out from, someone told her that they needed new signs because the ones that were there were incorrect.
so when I spoke to her, I'm sorry, Pat, you can
Yeah.
finish. When I spoke to her, I said if she wanted to post that the property is enforced, just so she doesn't have, dissatisfied customers because they're going to her lot to buy something. You're going to the store to buy something. I mean, even if you're, running in, potentially that could make her customers upset. They are her customers. So, I did speak to her and recommend that she could put up signage that this property is enforced. But we're the wrong board to say. That should go to the planning board, and I will put her in touch with the planning board. Actually,
But you gave
As of right
her, you got to think about what you're saying, guys. You gave her the equivalent of certificate of occupancy and approved some signs. She paid out of the good part. I'll go ask her when but what she's saying is I put them up once. It's turned out when the mayor caught somebody driving in the wrong way, asked police officer to issue a ticket, they found out and said that the,
Fire zone.
the fire zone that's in front is no good. The police can't even issue a ticket because the fire zone they were told to put down wasn't right according to code. So I don't know how to get a certificate of occupancy if you're telling them to go back to the zoning board, guys.
can you
So-
say that to Pat?
So step one to this whole equation is let's get the local law in effect authorizing the police to actually enforce on private property. That's number one. Once we do that, then we can address signs. Okay?
Now, the reason I'm asking you about the signs is, anybody who's driven by North Mizzier sees me feeding the baby every morning and every night. Has anybody seen me? Watering my lawn that finally got seeded? Do you want me to tell you what almost happened again?
I don't want you to, but you should.
Another tractor trailer while I'm standing there with a hose, seeding the lawn, decides to pass me by coming from Route 9, pulls up right past up to the front of my property, proceeds to put it in reverse, and they're gonna back into the plaza. And obviously the back end comes out, and I'm spraying on his window, get his attention, and tell him very politely, you're not supposed to go in this way, okay? Pulls up, backs all the way down, I show him where to go and everything else. So, yes, it's imperative we get that law done, but then I think the police have to start issuing tickets. And that's the second thing I wanted to ask you about.
Number one, Pat, we can't make the police department issue tickets. Charlie and Ferry and I have talked about this 100 times. It is up to the,
Is he the head of the police department? Am I wrong? Is he the head of the police department?
it's under the.
Does anybody
officer's
disagree with
discretion.
me? He's the head of the police department.
We can't force the officers.
You
to
can't do it. It's
So-
completely not legal. So the other thing is,
But wait, the mayor cannot instruct a police officer to lawfully issue. I'm not saying illegally. The mayor cannot tell a police officer to lawfully issue a ticket.
If the mayor said to an officer, go up in this spot between 9 in the morning and 10 in the morning, and write tickets that you're going wrong in one way.
No, I'm not saying that, but if he sees something,
If he sees something.
local law, there's a traffic law.
Right, the police officers, they can
No, VTL 600, one, property damage. I happen to live down the street from a major in the state police. I also have a niece who's an attorney. There is a state, and the attorney will tell you if I'm wrong, it's VTL 600. One, has to deal with property damage, and I never knew it. If someone comes on your property and causes property damage, doesn't hit you, a child, a dog, but property damage, okay? And does not report it to the owner or to the authorities, and you have them on videotape or anything else, you can go to a police officer, you can show them proof via a camera and damage, and they can issue a ticket.
But you may think.
Up to 1 year after the fact.
But you may think a proof of who's driving that would be a question. And also,
I'm saying, is that true? Do you know if that's true?
it's not true that they have to, though. That's what I'm saying. They
No.
don't have to, they could. If they have all the evidence you're talking about. If they.
Right. So, would you...
But if the person has to also
All right. So let me-
knowingly damage your property.
Let me give you a
They
couple
may
of
determine didn't
examples.
knowingly do it.
Let me give you a couple of examples for
I have nothing to do with this.
All right. In the winter time.
we need to.
No, it's besides this. It's the police department on the...
So when we're gonna introduce the law on July 10th.
Well, what good are you gonna do if they're not issued? Did you know that somebody came on that winter, drove onto the property, drove up to my house, if you know where my house is, to the back window, under our bedroom, which is 40 some odd feet in. They were fornicating in the car. The police department came. They went over a snowbank 18 inches to get onto the property. The police refused to issue a ticket because it's only property damage. 10 wheels of a tractor trailer. Does anybody want to guess how many tickets that guy got for parking a tractor trailer down to his axles in my drive? Zero.
I can guess zero, but I know how many he could have got.
Right. I've heard
Five of
anywhere
them, I
from
know.
3 to 4. Now you're saying, if you're the head of the police department, hey, look.
I can't enforce our officers to write tickets. I
You're
can
not
tell
asking-
him, I can tell him to go up there, but he's
No,
not.
I'm not asking them to. I went to find out on May 15th, when that tractor trailer backed up on my property, okay? The police officer wrote the report and said there was no damage. I had to go to the police department with pictures on an iPad to show it. The police department, to their credit, Calabrese was it, sent somebody out, another officer. They looked at it, yes, there was damage there. Okay? So I asked if I could please have the name of the person who was the driver, because the original police officer never gave it to me. They went up, talked to the driver, and let him go. Okay? I've gone there 3 times to the police department and asked them for it. Last time I said, when it's ready, can somebody let me know? On my way here, I stopped. They give me a foil to fill out. And maybe tomorrow somebody will let me know. I'm telling you this, I don't know what's going on, the police don't want to work for the chief of police, the chief of police gets changed. As far as I'm concerned, you're the mayor. And I'm not telling you the rest of you. If anybody here thinks this board is doing a great job, I'll sit down right now and not say another word. Does anybody think they're doing a great job? Anyone is? I know you're trying like hell. So please, let's get something done. And whoever it is, go behind the door and talk to your police chief in your offices like grown men and explain to them, we don't want them breaking somebody's chops because they stopped for 5 minutes to unload a baby or do something. But when you get property damage, they should enforce New York State laws. And if they don't want to enforce the laws, put the badge on the desk, walk away, and give the job to somebody who will enforce it. I'm not saying selectively enforce it. I'm saying enforce it. All right? Now,
We're gonna do the
I'll be
law July
back.
10th.
Okay, I'll see you next month.
And also, this board is appreciative of our police department, our fire department, all the village works.
Hey, they all work hard, and I still,
We recognize that all our employees work hard, and we're grateful to have the employees that we have.
we do, but there's something going on, and I don't want to know what it is, the friction between the police chief, and the mayor. There's a police department, the head of the police department is the mayor. You guys got to go behind doors and talk to them and explain to them they got to work together. If not, please take the motto down in the police station that talks about your commitment to customer service.
Pat, you're being rude
All right,
now,
beat
okay?
that horse.
Like, yeah,
that horse
it's
thing.
getting, upsetting.
Well, then
There's
do
no
it.
conspiracy theory. Nobody's trying to hurt each other in the village. We're all trying to work together. This local law will give them the power to
Please.
write tickets for,
I'll ask you again. You guys aren't getting, you think that the police department is working harmoniously?
if you were really worried about your property and, like it's a life safety issue, I mean, I would talk to somebody about putting boulders on your lawn to protect you.
You
If like
can't.
cars are driving and they're
If I
gonna
put a
hurt
boulder
you.
on my lawn, or ask your attorney, if someone slides into the boulder, don't you think the village guys have offered to come and drop off
All
the
right,
stone?
we need to move on,
Yeah.
but thank you very much for your input, sir.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to address the lake. It looks great. It's a huge difference. June hasn't looked this nice since I've lived in the village. We were out in the kayaks today, and we wouldn't have been able to do that in the past because of it. You can see the stems of it still, but all the leaves are gone. So wonderful. My concern is there's some very shallow areas right on our property lines. When you came to my house, you could see. So it didn't reach there, and it's still very thick there. So I didn't know if next time if they could address closer to property lines. I'm fine with them coming on my property if they need to, because it's so shallow. Even when you came out with your little machine, you couldn't come close enough. I'm fine if they have to come on the property to just spray that, but that's still quite dense. That's just my concern.
I can speak from, this is new to us as well, so I'm not sure the answer to your question, but I can speak to him about it.
Okay, great, that's it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Charlie?
Yeah, well, I know, from the last conversation that you're drafting a law about enforcing the law on private property. I don't know if there's any other law, any other place in the village where you're enforcing laws on private property, but I think that's a bad road to go down. Taxpayer money should not go for police to enforce laws on private property. That's the obligation of the property owner to take care of that problem. If they don't, it should be your zoning department or something. But enforcing laws on private properties, spending taxpayer money on private business.
Excuse me. It doesn't cost, the fine is $250, it brings in revenue. And if that's the neighborhood, I've been here 60-something years. If you let it go and you let these guys keep doing it, it gets worse. I'm not asking to be selective.
So we listened to you, Mr. Cardini, and we listened to Mr. Ferry. We've listened to you,
I'm
and
sorry.
we listened to Mr. Ferry, and the board can take both of them in consideration.
Fine. He's entitled to his opinion, yes.
Yep. Anybody else?
One more thing for a reminder.
Hey, so with the lake, are they treating the whole lake, like from the park to like the bridge?
So they're treating 50 acres of the lake. So if you look at where the park is, it goes straight along that bank line, right across the lake, the cove, and partially down to the dam.
How is that like determined?
How
The
the,
determination to just do like half the lake, like why not do
so,
the entire?
so if we were to do the entire lake, it would only be 70 acres of the lake because we have to be so many feet from a wetland, which is on the other side of the bridge. In the short period of time that we were doing this, we didn't have enough time to go out and get three bids, three formal bids.
All right.
All right, or it'd have to really go to bid.
Is there a
Out to
plan
bid.
in the future to go more towards the bridge?
It could be a plan, but right now, we're just, for the next 3 years, we're looking at this plan.
If I may, Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
The hope is that is a tidal estuary, so that it will move up and down. There are multiple treatments that are going to be happening. Right now, what we're seeing is a result of one treatment. So we are hoping that this year, and it's going to depend on the weather. You get a big rain, it's going to move downstream. You get a little bit less. We do have to stay, however, away from the bridge because of the wetlands. But I will also ask the question, we couldn't go in the entire area because there are certain, this is approved by the DEC, we have to go by DEC regulations. And the gentleman who is doing this is, that's what he does for a living, so we went with his recommendations.
Like what are the wetlands now, like in the lake?
So on the other side of the bridge, there's that grassy area, and there's like a little island over it. And I wouldn't say it's an island, but it's like a little wooded area. They consider that all wetland in there.
You gotta say how far away from that?
I don't know off the top of my head, but
Because I'm on 43, the Fayetteville now.
yeah,
But, yeah, just to get like the boat out into the channel, it's like, someone have to like take my boat, tow it around to the
Yeah.
park, it'd be nice to like utilize it, and then all those beetles, like the lily leaf beetles.
Yep.
Those just come in, so it's like now they're all gonna be concentrated like behind our houses. And it'd be nice if like we were able to,
I mean, it's something we can look into.
yeah.
You know, but
We'll speak to him.
we can look into.
All right,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Have a motion to go into exec.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, two things. One, I neglected to mention under recreation, that on July 6th, there's a village resident who is a photographer who's going to be having a photo display at the boathouse of local pictures she has taken. Everyone will be invited. That'll be part of First Saturday. I do have a request. I understand you, Mr. Mayor, have been talking to Attorney Linus about the brick row houses.
Correct.
I'm checking. Back on April 1st, we were discussing this, and I'm wondering where we are with that.
So, I have reached out to one of the defense counsel. He's an appointed counsel for one of the owners at Brick Row. Through their insurance company. The insurance company appoints counsel, they'll assign counsel to represent everybody's interest in that matter, okay? So, this matter is in litigation. Central Hudson has expended certain amounts of money to house people temporarily. They've made measures to kind of isolate the property. They've done an enormous amount of investigations on scene. And now the issue of the cleanup has come up, okay? And so, the collective position of the litigants is that the insurance companies, and there are now 4 of them, are actually cooperating to figure out how to clean it up right now, okay? And they have hired a company to conduct the remediation. So that's in line, which is very encouraging. What is also very encouraging is that this company has already been retained, and they've already submitted an application to New York State for a permit to clean up asbestos issues. So that permit application is pending. Once that is cleared, and I can't give you a time frame when that's going to be, but once that is cleared, then they can come in and then they can start to remediate the site. So it is in motion. And I've been working with council on this for a while now. But it's, there is movement, it's just now waiting on permitting and the state, so.
Thank you for that update. Thank you for the work you've been doing. It is just becoming almost a public health issue. There are rodents, there are critters, it's a god-awful mess. So if we could encourage them to expedite it in any way we can.
It's New York State right now. I mean, the permit's actually been in for a couple weeks. So the permit's been there, they're just waiting.
Is there anything we can do to encourage New York State to move faster? I know that's kind of a crazy question.
If you know that secret, let me know.
I just wanted to mention, and I talked to John a little bit outside about it, I don't know what the village can do about it, but there's a fox that is making his home in there, and the kids are out now playing in the street. I don't know if the police department can go over or do anything, I don't know, but, you know, you got little kids running around playing, you know, and you got this fox hanging out.
Yeah.
That is part of the village. I see that is part of the town, and the town does have animal control. I'm not sure
Animal Control.
what that is, but we can reach out to Wappinger Animal Control and
You could do that. Walter?
Just a reminder for tomorrow night, 7:30 at the Boathouse at 105 Market Street. We're going to be discussing or being lectured to by the Buckingham Associates about their 188 possible units being built up on the end of Nelson Avenue. So, if you want to find out what's going on and know what it's all about, they're supposed to be telling us tomorrow night. They've done everything according to law at this point, but still 188 housing units up on the end of the street there is quite a load. So I encourage everybody, if they would like to, please come to the Boathouse tomorrow night. They've got planning and zoning all that, and there's another thing too, is New York State housing, because they're looking for cluster housing in New York State. They're looking to put more residents, so, you know, it's a big deal.
they don't have, I'm sorry, may I? Yeah. They don't have everything, but they've got parts of it. So before it goes, oh, you know, we got to ask the question. Now is the time to ask the questions. Now is the time to voice the concerns. Once they start laying cement, it's a done
It's a
deal.
planning board issue.
This is a planning board issue, so let them
I
do it.
I just wanted to let everybody know they're paying attention right now to please come
All right.
tomorrow night. Thank you.
All right, anybody else?
So while you're looking at that, there's actually two spots on Carmine Drive that are there all the time. And there's some down below near Garden Street. So I think there's quite a few of them running around.
There's quite a few of them. There's one that hangs out in Desir Park also.
Yeah, there's one by DeMarco Place.
Quite a few.
There's two right in the junior high.
So they're everywhere. They seem to be running pretty rampant throughout the village, so I don't know if we can maybe get together with Mr. Owens and see what he can do to put some traps out, but they're all over. And the other question I had was, the other question I had was, at one point, we had a lot of park benches that were stored at the Boathouse. Were those distributed somewhere, or whatever happened to those park benches? There were quite a few of them from whenever.
There is a couple of them, right?
I think there's maybe 3 down there, black metal ones.
I just remember there being park benches stored down there that we couldn't figure out what to do with.
I believe there are 6 green.
There was quite a
I
few.
think some of them are missing. I think one was assembled and put on the back of the Boathouse, but that's not there anymore. But from what I understand, those were bought from the Economic Development Committee to be put on maybe the streets somewhere or somewhere.
They've been there for years,
Yeah.
so, I mean, if they could be made use of.
All right.
They're just not the type for the parks, though. They could be
Put more street benches.
they're metal, like black metal.
Yeah.
All right, can we have a motion to go in executive session to discuss local law 1/2021?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return. The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return.